So here recently, coaches within the Pac-12 were polled anonymously and asked their opinion about other teams within the Pac-12, and of course, we got some fascinating answers. None more so, in my opinion, than the takes on Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes, and today, we have got to break it down. We need to talk about it and talk about what these coaches said about Coach Prime and Colorado going into the 2023 season. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill, I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Do you believe Coach Prime will be able to find success in Colorado? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions seem small. They are massive to content creators such as myself, and we are less than 700 subscribers away from our 20,000 subscriber goal. I'd love nothing more than to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And we're not going to waste any time on this July 4th. Happy July 4th to all of you celebrating out there. We're going to dive right into what these opposing coaches said. And I want to talk about one quote in particular. And it is really interesting. It's something I think we want to unpack. So let's dive into it. This anonymous coach said, and I quote, "It feels like a lose-lose for Colorado with Coach Prime. Either he's going to be really good, really fast, and leave for another gig, which, looking at the roster, doesn't seem possible. The alternative is that they're going to be bad, and they'll end up firing him in a big circus. It's all hard to tell. It's hard to separate the hype from reality." And there are several different points I wanted to make about this statement. So let's really break it down. I have 3 takeaways from it. First and foremost has to do with the hype. Hype doesn't win you football games. This much we understand, but hype can get you into doorways that you otherwise would not have been able to get into. And if you're the Colorado Buffaloes right now, hype can be a very powerful thing. I don't think there's anybody on that Colorado coaching staff that is disillusioned into thinking that the hype they're generating on the recruiting trail is automatically going to produce results on the football field. I just don't see that being the case. What I do see them believing is that the hype they're generating on the recruiting trail can help them get into ears of recruits otherwise Colorado would not have access to. And I think we can already see that ringing true with Coach Prime and the hype Colorado's generated. They were able to get in guys in that last recruiting class that there's no way they would have been able to sign had Coach Prime not been there. Travis Hunter would not currently be at Colorado. Cormani McClain would not be at Colorado. All that is in part due to the hype that Coach Prime and the coaches that he brought along with him were able to generate. So is hype a powerful thing? Yes, but we also need to understand what makes it powerful and the limitations with hype. Nobody is out here contending that Colorado is going to go undefeated off of the hype. That has to be earned. Results on the field have got to be earned. But the hype can get you into doorways otherwise you may not have had access to. And because of that, I do find hype to be a powerful thing. And I don't think we need to separate it from reality because unfortunately, the hype is reality right now for Colorado. Don't believe me? Look at who they just signed in this past recruiting class. That proves that the hype is a reality. Now it's just all about what happens on the football field. My second takeaway from this has to do with his take on success for Coach Prime. I don't think anybody would be surprised that if Coach Prime goes to Colorado, turns that program around, that pretty much, well, every big school in the nation that finds themselves looking for a new coach would give him a call. And why wouldn't they? At the point where a coach could go and take over a program that just went 1-11, generate the hype that Coach Prime has generated, turn it around, find success, of course big name brands are going to be out there giving him a call. It wouldn't surprise anybody out there. And so while I understand he's talking about the longevity of Coach Prime with Colorado, I also think this same point can be said about pretty much, well, any coach in the nation that's not already at one of the top 10 schools in the nation. If you are turning around a program and you generate the attention, the buzz of the big names out there, they're going to call. That's a positive thing. In the end, Colorado fans want Coach Prime to position the Colorado Buffaloes in a position where every big name institution is paying attention. Every big name college out there cannot ignore the turnaround he and the other coaches have led. So while I can understand it being a point of longevity and not understanding how long Coach Prime will be there if he finds success, I don't find that to be an inherent negative. Coach Prime was brought to Colorado to give the Buffaloes attention, to give them hype, and to turn the program around. And if he can do that, he will have done his job. And finally, the last point I want to end on is what happens if they don't succeed. The anonymous coach says that if they don't don't find success, Colorado will end up firing Coach Prime. And this is where I actually disagree with this coach, probably the most severely. I think we need to understand Colorado is in a position where they were coming off of a 1-11 season. This isn't a program that was just a hop, skip, and a jump away from a college football playoff appearance and then had a downturn, and the fans are ravenous to be right back where they were. This is a program that's experienced a long period of a downturn. Because of that, expectations are not that Coach Prime needs to come in here and in year one turn it all around. This plays off of something I have talked about time and time again ever since Coach Prime took the job, because I haven't given my season expectations for the Colorado Buffaloes yet. In fact, I haven't given my season expectations for any team out there just yet, because if you've been around the channel, you know those don't come until August. I want to get the most complete picture I can before I start talking about all of that. But I have given you little tidbits into my expectations for Coach Prime in Colorado. He took over a 1-11 team. He utilized the transfer portal to find talented guys to try and bring them there to at least create a base, a foundation he could then build off of. I do think he will find success in Colorado. How long it takes, I'm not sure, but that plays off of the point I have been preaching forever. Patience is key. Patience is what needs to be had with Colorado right now. They were 1-11. I know Colorado fans are tired of hearing that, but it is a reality. Until Coach Prime suits up and goes out there on that football game, that's exactly what the Colorado Buffaloes sit at the last time they went out and played organized college football. 1-11. So this is a situation where Coach Prime is in a full rebuild. It's not just like he needs to get a can of paint the house, and all of a sudden, look at that, the house just needed a new can of paint. That's not the situation at Colorado. The situation at Colorado is as follows. You get the house, realize it's in much worse shape than you thought it was, and you got to bulldoze the whole thing and start anew. That is what's happening at Colorado. And if any of you have ever built your own house, the only reason I know this is my brother works in building houses. Things can take longer than anticipated, even if everything is going according to plan, because you have to start anew. You have got to start from the ground up, and that's exactly what's happening with Coach Prime in Colorado. But I think when we really unpack all of this, and when we look at these 3 points together, the first dealing with the hype and how the hype is a reality. So when this coach says he doesn't know how to separate the hype from reality, those two are one and the same. It's just, I think this coach is looking at hype all wrong. I think he's thinking that the Colorado fans, the Colorado coaches, the Colorado players are disillusioned into thinking that that hype will automatically win them games. I don't find that to be the case at all. The second has to do with success, and that if Coach Prime finds success at Colorado, that he won't be there long. And I think that that kind of goes without saying. If any coach took over a 1-11 program and instantly turned it around, every big-name college in the nation is going to be calling if they have a coaching need. That's not relegated to just Coach Prime. So I get the point he's trying to make about longevity. I just don't think it has much standing to go on. And then finally, it has to do with losing, and this is the point I disagree with him the most in. Colorado isn't in a position to be immediately firing coaches because they aren't in a position of leverage. They're coming off of a 1-11 season, and it's a total rebuild that's happening right in front of us. It's not that the house just needs some new window shutters and a can of paint. It needed to be totally leveled and started anew. So I'm super excited for the future and what it holds for Colorado Buffalo fans. I've been talking about this extensively. It's not just Coach Prime. Coach Prime moves the needle. We know this to be true, and if you still question that, quite frankly and respectfully, you haven't been paying attention. But it's not just Coach Prime. The coaches he has outside of him move the needle, and because of that, I'm really excited to see what results are put forth. But I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Enjoy your July 4th. Have a great time. Be safe, and we'll talk again soon. Can't wait to hear from you. That's it. See ya.